Meraki TV, where being Greek is celebrated in our own unique Aussie style. Kalispera! I'm Sevo, and thank you so much for joining us again. Tonight we have a wonderful show for you with young, fresh Greek-Australian comedian Trish Cutra. We look at maybe the most prolific Greek musical artist of the 20th century, Stelios Kazanzidis, learn how to make loukoumades the Greek island way, get some really cool Greek olive facts, and of course all the glitz and goss with Stavroula. But first up, I'm very excited to introduce to you our brand new reporter, Billy Cotsis, an exceptional journalist in his own right. Billy is in Mytilene, or Lesvos right now, and he just had to report on the huge crisis that is occurring over there with the refugees. Please welcome Billy Cotsis with special guest Androniki.
Αυτή τη στιγμή είμαστε Mytilene και βλέπουμε κάθε μέρα έρχονται από την Τουρκία, Μικρά Ασία, έρχονται πρόσφυγες. Πες μας κάτι για αυτά που βλέπουμε.
Κοιτάξτε, τα κύματα των προσφύγων είναι γεγονός ότι υπάρχουν πάρα πολλοί μετανάστες τα τελευταία χρόνια. Η κατάσταση οξύνθηκε από το Φεβρουάριο και έπειτα με την αλλαγή της κυβέρνησης παρατηρήθηκε ότι αυξήθηκαν και τα νούμερα των μεταναστών. Να πούμε μόνο ότι για το μήνα από τις 8 Ιουνίου μέχρι τις 15 περίπου Ιουλίου βγήκαν στη Λέσβο 17.203 άτομα.
And what I've seen myself over the last few days that I've been here in Mytilene, so I was in Eftalou, where most of the refugees are coming from. I've seen a lot of Syrian men, as you've indicated. My concern has been, and I've been to Syria myself before the war broke out, and my big concern is that a lot of the men are perhaps fighters because of the way they walk, their backpacks, the way that they're organised, their build, their single file walking. They're able to walk the 70 kilometres from the northern part of the island to the refugee camps. I've also seen a lot of Afghani refugees. So yesterday we spent a fair bit of time distributing water because there was a lot of children, there were a lot of women, which is different to the Syrian men that have been coming. And I was actually with my parents and my mum was crying. So it was a bit of an interesting moment. And from our family's perspective, we actually have grandparents who were Greek refugees from Asia Minor. So it's natural for us to try and help wherever we can.
Πριν 2 χρόνια, αν δεν κάνω λάθος, κάποιοι είχαν πνιγεί στην προσπάθειά τους να έρθουν στο νησί μας. Το λιμενικό σύλλεγε πτώματα γυναικών. Κατά κύριο λόγο το χειμώνα έχουμε παρατηρήσει ότι έρχονται άντρες. Το καλοκαίρι βλέπουμε ότι έρχονται γυναίκες, μικρά παιδιά, βρέφη. Τις προάλλες είχαν έρθει βρέφη 25 ημερών. Έγκυες γυναίκες έρχονται εδώ στο νοσοκομείο Mytilene's, γεννάνε. Εδώ το κέντρο στη Μόρια που είχε δημιουργηθεί πέρυσι δεν μπορεί φυσικά να φιλοξενήσει τόσα άτομα όσα βγαίνουν, γιατί κατά μέσο όρο βγαίνουν 500 άτομα την ημέρα.
Just to put it into perspective for some of our viewers back in Australia, these people are coming from places as far as Afghanistan, from Somalia, getting through places like Syria, and they're coming through Turkey, they're crossing the straits into islands like Lesvos, and they're on inflatable dinghies. They get deflated, everyone's wearing life jackets. I've seen all the life jackets, literally hundreds, in an area in Eftalou. And then they're making a journey of something like 70 kilometres by foot. I'm also seeing that there are very few, there are no Coast Guard boats. I haven't seen, and I could be corrected, but I haven't seen much input from the European Union. I hope the word gets across to Europe that places like Lesvos and the Aegean actually need their help.
And now from one island to another, we leave Mytilene and head for Kalimno. Vasili Arvithi has been a cook since the tender age of 14. In Kalimno, Greece's mainland, ships, and here in Australia. It took a little convincing, but he finally agreed to cough up the recipe to his special traditional Kalimnian loukoumades, with the secret ingredient of masticha.
Yaya's secret recipe is proudly brought to you by M&J Chickens, supplying high-quality poultry-based fresh products value-added, flavoured and fully cooked meals and meal components to the hospitality, food service and retail in Australia. For superior quality and service, choose M&J Chickens. We're revolutionising the way you think about chicken.
Γεια σας, είμαι ο Βασίλης ο Αρβήθης από Κάλυμνο. Σήμερα θα σας δείξω ωραίους λουκουμάδες που φτιάχνουμε στην Κάλυμνο. Είναι πολύ καλή συνταγή, να την κρατήσετε. Πρώτη φορά το κάνω, δείχνω έξω τη συνταγή μου. 4 σκούπες πλάι αλεύρι, το φουσκωτό αλεύρι. Κάνουμε ένα λακάκι, βάζουμε τη γύς μέσα, τη θρύφουμε. Χλιαρό νερό, όχι ζεστό νερό, χλιαρό, γιατί η γύς είναι ζωντανό πράγμα και αν βάλεις πολύ ζεστό νερό, τη χαλάς τη γη και δεν δουλεύει. Έχω ακούσει πάρα πολλές συνταγές με αυγά, με αυτά, δεν καταλαβαίνω τίποτα. Μπροστά σε αυτό το λουκουμά δεν μετράει τίποτα. Βάζω τη μισή κουταλίτσα αλάτι, συνεχίζω τη ζύμη. Νεκατεύουμε τη ζύμη. Υπάρχει μία τεχνική, το χέρι πάει αυτό το σχέδιο. Πρέπει να πέσει μαλακά, να μην κόβεται η ζύμη όταν το φτιάχνουμε. Θα βάλουμε ακόμα λίγο νερό. Αυτή τη στιγμή θα συμπληρώσω το πορτοκάλι. Θα βάλουμε 3 κύβους από χιώτικια μαστίχα και αυτό είναι που κάνει να μυρίσει ωραία και να δώσει μια πολύ ωραία γεύση. Και η ζύμη μας είναι έτοιμη. Τώρα περιμένουμε περίπου 40 λεπτά να φουσκώσει. Λοιπόν, η ζύμη μας έχει γίνει. Το χτυπάμε και είναι έτοιμη η ζύμη μας για τους λουκουμάδες. Έχουμε ένα κουτάλι με λίγο νερό μέσα. Έχουμε την κατσαρόλα πάνω με το λάδι. Το μυστικό εδώ πέρα είναι ότι πρέπει να καίει πολύ. Η τέχνη είναι λίγο δύσκολη, πρέπει να μάθεις. Πιάνεις λίγο ζύμη από τη μέσα τη μεριά και το σφίγγεις και βγαίνει έξω. Εδώ ο λουκουμάς, αν είναι καλός, γυρνάει από μόνος του. Δεν χρειάζεται να το γυρίσεις εσύ. Τώρα θα πάρουν ένα χρώμα και θα τα βγάλουμε. Τώρα μπορούμε να βάλουμε το καλύμνικο μας μέλι και λίγη κανελίτσα. Είμαστε έτοιμοι. Come on, try. Put some honey. Ένα ρε, όχι όλα μαζί. Come on. Can you tell me? Tell me? What's that? Come closer, come closer. What's that? Nice? You enjoy it? Oh.
Wish you were in Greece, Melbourne, New York, or any other exotic destination? Call Peter at Megatravel 9824 2427. Megatravel. With proven results from thousands of installations in the residential and commercial application, Solar Energy Enterprises can design the perfect solar system for your needs. Sweet Fantasy Cakes. No matter what your special occasion or personal craving, come and visit the Small Business Champions. sweetfantasycakes.com.au.
One of our goals here at Meraki TV is to help foster and promote young talent. Our next guest is just that. Only in her early 20s, she's working towards being a writer, and in that endeavour has also fallen into stand-up. They say in comedy to talk about what you know, and she has done just that, incorporating the quirkiness of her beloved Yaya into her routine, and in turn reminding us all to laugh with love at all of ours. Here now is Trish Cutra. Guys, please welcome Trish Cutra. What a fabulous stand-up skit you just did.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name's Trish Cutra, and I love to eat. In fact, If I was the author of Eat, Pray, Love, I probably would have just titled it Eat, Eat, Eat. I'm Greek, so I grew up eating a lot. I had this interesting relationship with my grandma, or Yaya, where she would call me obese and then shovel food into my mouth. Went something like this. Eat, eat. You're so fat. Eat, eat. Why are you so fat? Eat, eat. Why are you crying?
Tell us, what made you get into stand-up?
From a young age, me and my brother were always coming up with crazy stories together, and they always had, a funny edge to them. Well, my grandma was definitely a special lady. Each moment she gave me a piece of her jewellery was followed by the comment, "It's cheap," or "I found it in a public bathroom."
Tell me, have you ever been heckled?
I get a lot of heckling, but I think it's because people feel so comfortable. There's a part that I talk about my grandma giving me jewellery that she finds in public bathrooms. And this guy, I said it, and it was my first public stand-up gig, so I'm already feeling a little bit nervous, and you don't want to be heckled on your first show. But he interrupted me, was like, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with finding jewellery in a public bathroom. I've got a box at home that I keep jewellery in that I find in public bathrooms." I was like, hey, sir, clearly this is an issue close to your heart. I mean no disrespect. My ER was a woman who had rules for everything, including how to sleep properly. Oh yes, there's a way. Sleeping on your stomach with your hands under your pillow? Wrong. Sleeping on your back with your arms crossed like a corpse? Right. She used to come into me and my brother's room in the middle of the night and rearrange us into the correct sleeping position. Because honestly, nobody sleeps better than the dead.
And what would your yaya say if she was at one of your stand-up gigs, do you think?
She probably wouldn't understand what I'm doing. I'll try to explain it to her in my broken Greek, and she'd be like, "Oh, yeah, you make jokes, yeah.
You want something to eat now?
Yeah, you want something to eat? Why are you so fat? Why aren't you married by now? No one wants you because you're that old.
Stop telling jokes, find a man."
Yeah. Stop with the laughing and start with the marrying, yeah.
Trish, thank you so much for joining us on Meraki TV.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Did you know that Greece is the world's third leading producer of olives behind Spain and Italy? Greece has more than 132 million trees and produce over 350,000 tonnes of olive oil each year.
Stelios Kazanzidis. It's a name that for many Greeks brings a sigh, a look of nostalgia, and more often than not, a tiny tear. He was a man of the people, their voice. He sang what they couldn't say. For Greeks here in Australia, he was the one who sang their pain and heartbreak away from their home. I'll tell you the truth, when it comes to Kazanzidis, we could easily fill an hour. But true to our word, here he is in 3 minutes or less. Stelios Kazanzidis was born 29 August 1931 in Nea Ionia, Athens. His parents were refugees from southern Turkey as a result of the Greco-Turkish War of 1922. Life was tough. Not only did he grow up during World War II, but the ensuing civil war saw his father tortured and killed due to his communistic ideals. Stelios was only 13, and being the eldest son, took on the responsibility of providing for the family. He took whatever job he could find: baggage carrier, selling roasted nuts, a labourer, and even sold water. It was at 15, while working at the Lanatex factory, that fate stepped in. His boss, hearing him sing during work hours, called him into his office and gave him a guitar. He played it religiously, and within a couple of years, he appeared at a club in Kifisia. Soon after, he made his first audio recording at 21 years old. The first song didn't do too well, but the second,
οι βαλίτσες, did.
Να πάρεις τις βαλίτσες σου, να πας αλλού να ζήσεις, να πάρεις...
Soon he collaborated with Vasilis Tsitsanis and turned obscure songs such as Sinefyasmeni Kyriaki and Bakse Tsifliki into standards. But he was a more than competent songwriter in his own right, penning songs such as Ziguala,
Ziguala, Ziguala, Ziguala.
Το τελευταίο βράδυ μου,
Μια πνοή, σαν λουλουδί, κάποιο χέρι θα μας κόψει.
and many, many more hits. Although wildly popular in Greece, it is perhaps his fans outside of Greece that made him who he was. He was the voice of pain for everyone who had migrated from Greece. He understood their poverty-ridden roots, their feelings of injustice and powerlessness in a cruel, heartless world. His voice played every note on their heartstrings.
Και φεύγω με πίκρα στα ξένα, το μη...
He was also a man who stood up for himself and what he believed in. In 1965, at the height of his career, he decided to stop nightclub appearances. It was a decision he held till the day he died. In 1973, after a major comeback that saw him back at the top of the charts, he took a leave from recording, accusing his label of colonial-like contracts. And you thought George Michael was the first. He passed of a brain tumour in 2001 and was awarded a state funeral through the streets of Elefsina. The outpouring of grief on a national level was overwhelming. So this weekend, ransack your parents' and grandparents' music stash, vinyl, tape, whatever it might be. Find the name Kazanzidis and discover not only a true musical wonder, but a part of your family history.
Όσο η καρδιά κι αν λαχταρά, δεν θα ξαναγαπήσω.
With proven results from thousands of installations in the residential and commercial application, Solar Energy Enterprises can design the perfect solar system for your needs. Sweet Fantasy Cakes. No matter what your special occasion or personal craving, come and visit the Small Business Champions. sweetfantasycakes.com.au. Euro Funerals. It's never easy saying goodbye, but let us help you do it with the respect and honour your loved ones deserve. Eurofunerals.com.au.
Did you know that Greece devotes 60% of its cultivated land to olive growing? Greece is the world's top producer of black olives and has more varieties of olives than any other country.
Now it's time to find out what's where and who's done what with whom with the Glitz and Goss with Stavroula.
Glitz and Goss is proudly brought to you by iSecure. To keep your family safe, let us keep an eye on your place. isecureu.com.au.
Anna and Mum Gina Petridis of Canberra Cafe Patisseries have been shaking it up with the best milkshakes ever. One photo on Facebook is all it took, and they've taken the world by storm. Lines out the door, cake orders booked out for weeks, write-ups around the world. This cafe, with its eye-popping, tantalising creations, has rocketed to social media stardom. Yorgos Lanthimos' first English language film, The Lobster, which won this year's Cannes Jury Prize, is screening now at the 2015 Melbourne International Film Festival, a satire of modern romance, eccentric in Lanthimos' familiar style. The Hellenic Cultural Association of Melbourne, or Periklis, a committee of young passionate Hellenes, have come together to promote and offer traditional Hellenic sessions of dancing, music, songs and theatre to all ages. Every Wednesday at St George Greek Orthodox Church in Thornbury, Victoria. Johnny Depp has snatched up a bit of Greek real estate, paying €4 million for Strongili, a tiny island near Castellorizo. The Pirates of the Caribbean star, who was filming in Australia, left for Greece to visit his new purchase. Let's hope Pistol and Boo enjoy the Greek island, which is 1.5 kilometres long and 700 metres wide. Omeros on the beach at Ramsgate, Sydney, took out the St George Award for Best Fine Dining and Business of the Year, and rightly so, a culinary experience right on the beach. Greek director Yannis Maragdis, known for films El Greco and God Loves Caviar, has announced his new film called Nikos Kazantzakis. The great Greek universal writer Nikos Kazantzakis gained international recognition for his works Zorba the Greek and The Last Temptation of Christ, among others. Casting includes Odysseas Papapsiliopoulos from A Touch of Spice as the new Kazantzakis, the hot Zeta Duka as Melina Mercouri, and Stathis Psaltis in the role of a monk. Angela Dimitriou revealed in a startling interview she was very close to suicide. She came out of a deep depression, cooped up in a house, eating poorly, popping pills, smoking 5 packs of cigarettes a day and sleeping all hours. In addition to her major addiction, gambling at the casino, she was gambling with her life. It's all behind her now, and we can't wait to see Angela Dimitriou perform in Australia next month. Remember 80s 90s Edition 5 brings back all those happy memories in one night, featuring favourite DJs Con Maj, Tom Hyper, Greco and Peter Gallo. Saturday, 8 August from 9 p.m. at the ultra cool Micro Lounge, Beverly Hills. And it's a good evening from me. Till next week, Glitz and Goss with Stavroula on Meraki TV.
Glitz and Goss is proudly brought to you by iSecure. To keep your family safe, let us keep an eye on your place. isecureu.com.au.
Did you know that Greece's largest olive oil producing regions are Peloponnesos, Crete and Lesvos? Lesvos itself has over 11 million olive trees.
Παιδιά, that's it for this week's edition of Meraki TV. It's been such a pleasure having your company. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to thank our sponsors, M&J Chickens, iSecure, Sweet Fantasy Cakes, Mega Travel, Euro Funerals and Solar Energy Enterprises. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And remember, if you know of a story, a person or a recipe that should be on here, email me, annasevo@meraki.tv. And don't forget that you can also catch up on episodes by going to our website, meraki.tv, and clicking on episode catch up. Thank you once again, guys. Until next week, φιλάκια from me, Anna Sevo.
Ζωγάκια.
Είναι funny, μωρή.
What did the gala say to the other gala?
What?
Τι κάνεις καλά?
Τα τραγούδια μου θα είναι πονεμένα. Ξέρω πολλούς στη ξενιτιά που είναι ριζωμένοι σε δυο αγάπες μια καρδιά που είναι πειρασμένη. Πατρίδα μου με ξεριζώνεις, πατρίδα είναι